Why does it sometimes feel like nobody really cares about Erling Haaland? Of course, I'm exaggerating a bit here. After all, the guy has 38 million Instagram followers. That's not exactly indifference. But compare that to Kylian Mbappe with 126 million, Vinicius Jr. with 54 million, or even Lamine Yamal, who already has 39 million despite only just emerging. By comparison, Haaland doesn't quite hit the same peaks. And this is especially true in France and the French-speaking world, where he's simply not as discussed as some of the other global stars. Yet in terms of market value and on-field performance, Haaland should be right up there in every conversation. So in this video, I'll break down why his media coverage often feels more muted than that of his rivals. And trust me, this says a lot about the state of football today, about the club he plays for, and about the way we consume the game in 2025. Chapter 1. No rival, no antagonist. One big reason is simple. Haaland doesn't have a generational rival. Think back to Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo. That rivalry defined an entire era, not just on the pitch, but in terms of image. Messi's haters gave him power. Ronaldo's haters did the same for him. They existed through each other. For a moment, people thought we'd get a Haaland versus Mbappe rivalry. But the way football looks today, talent is spread across too many players. Bellingham, Yamal, Vinicius, Dembélé, Mbappe. There's no binary rivalry like before. Without that legendary two-man storyline, Haaland loses one of the most powerful engines of media hype. Chapter 2. Manchester City is not Real Madrid. The second factor is his club. At Manchester City, the real superstar is Pep Guardiola. When the French media cover Real Madrid, it's always through Mbappe or Vinicius. At Barcelona, it's through Yamal. But at City, the spotlight is shared. De Bruyne, Foden, Doku, Bernardo Silva, and Guardiola himself. And let's be honest, City doesn't have the same global aura as Real Madrid or Barcelona. In France especially, those two clubs dominate the conversation. City lacks a historic rival of the same caliber. Yes, there's the Manchester Derby, but United have bigger problems right now than fueling media wars against Haaland. So even though Haaland is City's main striker, he's still just one star among many. Chapter 3. Not a tabloid superstar. Another point. Haaland isn't a tabloid star. Unlike players constantly in the spotlight for their personal lives, controversial statements, or flashy social media presence, Haaland stays in the background. No scandals, no viral drama, no constant buzz. In fact, his image is often described as a little robotic, cold, machine-like. It's part of his legend, sure, but it also means there's less noise around him off the pitch. Chapter 4. Few transfer sagas. And let's not forget the transfer market factor. We talked a lot about Haaland when he was at Dortmund, but since signing with City, he's basically locked in long-term. No drama, no rumors, no endless speculation. Meanwhile, Mbappe's move to Madrid was a never-ending saga. Vinicius' contract talks are constant talking points. Dembélé's future was debated season after season. Those sagas generate clicks, debates, and hype. Haaland doesn't have that. Chapter 5. Not a YouTube compilation king. Modern football is also consumed through highlights and YouTube compilations. Fans everywhere watch condensed clips instead of full matches. And let's be honest, Haaland's goals don't always fit the viral compilation style. They're brutally effective, yes, but they're rarely those dazzling solo runs or outrageous dribbles that rack up millions of views. You see endless highlight reels of Yamal, Vinicius, or even Messi, but Haaland's finishes, while decisive, often feel more mechanical. That doesn't make them less valuable, but it does make them less shareable. Chapter 6. A respectable consensus. Here's the paradox. Everyone agrees. Haaland is world-class. The numbers don't lie. 152 games for City, 131 goals, 21 assists. Those are ridiculous stats. But because there's no real debate about his level, there's no fuel for endless arguments. Nobody seriously claims Haaland is a fraud. He doesn't divide opinions the way Dembélé does, for example. And in today's football media, controversy sells more than consensus. So if Haaland sometimes feels less talked about, it's not disrespect, and it's not because he lacks talent. It's the combination of all these factors. No generational rival, playing for a club that shares the spotlight. No transfer sagas, no tabloid drama, goals that don't always go viral, and performances so consistent that they leave little room for debate. Ironically, that might be Haaland's greatest strength. When people talk about him, they talk about football itself, not scandals, not rumors, not gossip. And in today's football media landscape, that's almost revolutionary.